Remember that viral meme of two angry dudes screaming in a garage, one mid-rant, the other mid-chair throw? Yeah, that wasn't fiction. That was American Chopper, a reality show where family bonding meant industrial tools and psychological warfare. It was chaos, chrome, and cable TV gold. At its peak, American Chopper wasn't just a show. It was a lifestyle brand for emotionally repressed dads who thought love was best expressed through flame decals and mild workplace violence. Paul Teutuls Sr. was the loudest man in America, a guy who could turn Where's the Wrench into a full-blown domestic incident. His son, Paul Jr., was the tortured artist of the garage, designing intricate bikes while silently praying for his father's Wi-Fi to cut out mid-scream.
Tire's big. Huge, man. It's like the movie Tron.
Then there was Mikey, the adult toddler in a bandana whose primary job seemed to be vibe manager, and we loved them for it. We tuned in for the builds, but we stayed for the breakdowns. Every episode felt like a therapy session led by a man with biceps instead of credentials. And in those early 2000s glory days, that was enough. Real men didn't cry.
I knew he'd pass with flying colors, so I think we're going to offer him the job.
They built emotionally symbolic motorcycles while suppressing generational trauma. This wasn't just TV. It was Shakespeare in sleeveless shirts. Before it became the screaming match of the decade, American Chopper began as something almost wholesome. And I know, that's like saying Tiger King started as a cat rescue. In 1999, Paul Teutuls Sr., a metal worker with forearms thicker than most people's thighs, founded Orange County Choppers in upstate New York.
A while of my kids on my back. My kids are always pissing and moaning because I got my dogs on my shoulder.
What began as a side hustle in custom bikes quickly caught fire. Not literally, yet. Discovery Channel took notice and aired a special in 2002. It had everything: sparks, sweat, and a father-son duo.
Ryan, when the stuff's not done, that's all. You will anyway, but I don't want to hear it.
Whose communication style resembled a UFC weigh-in. By 2003, the series went full throttle. American Chopper officially launched, and reality TV would never be the same. The formula was deceptively simple. Take one overbearing dad, one brooding son, add Tools pressure, and the occasional Harley-shaped monstrosity. And boom, ratings gold. But it wasn't just about motorcycles, it was about the American dream.
Justin really nailed the look that we were going for.
Building something with your bare hands, yelling at your children, and somehow turning that into millions in merchandising. By around 2007 to 2008, they had their own line of toys, clothing, and even a massive new Orange County Choppers headquarters that basically screamed, "We're not overcompensating, you are." And credit where it's due, American Chopper helped invent the family business reality show genre, a bizarre hybrid of workplace drama and emotional exposure therapy.
Keep the business running.
It's coming together awesome.
Yeah.
Coming to life.
This wasn't just entertainment, it was cultural anthropology with more chain grease. At first, the yelling was part of the charm. A little family bickering here, a thrown wrench there, classic American parenting. But somewhere between the 5th screaming match and the 1,000th missed deadline, fans started asking, wait, is this still a show about motorcycles? Spoiler, it wasn't. The first crack came quietly in 2007. Vincent Vinny DiMartino, Paul Jr.'s best friend and the only man in the shop who looked like he had a working blood pressure, just left. No fireworks, no breakdown. He packed up and dipped.
Vinny, come here for a second.
So he really had to figure out what it was.
The official story, he wanted to start his own shop. The real story, he wanted to escape the emotional war zone disguised as a garage. Then came the chair incident. In 2009, the slow-burning volcano erupted. Paul Sr., a man powered by anger and protein shakes, fired Paul Jr. during one of the most uncomfortably real fights ever broadcast. Screaming, a desk flip, a flying chair. It was like The Sopranos, but with more tribal tattoos.
Fed up with this babysitting you. It's a quarter to 8.
Quarter to 8?
Yeah, everybody's in here at 7 o'clock.
Officially, Paul Jr. was let go for being late too often. Unofficially, the man had simply grown tired of being emotionally waterboarded on national television. But it didn't stop there. Nope, it got legal. Senior tried to force Junior to sell his 20% stake in OCC. Junior said no. Senior sued, Junior countersued. Senior asked the court to assign an arbiter to force the sale. Junior asked the court if Senior was, in fact, a cartoon supervillain.
Was that pretty cool, huh?
It was Succession, if Logan Roy had a mustache and a tool belt. Meanwhile, the public watched the emotional implosion in HD. And just when you thought it couldn't get more dramatic, enter Mikey. Sweet, chaotic Mikey, the comic relief, the man-child who wore Crocs before it was ironic.
Take these design lines and really take that back and translate that into just a dynamite bike.
Turns out being trapped between two warlords for 10 seasons isn't great for mental health. Mikey checked into rehab for depression and alcohol issues, leaving behind a greasy throne of dad jokes and emotional trauma. Then came the lawsuits. Not family ones, but a couple of employee lawsuits that got very public very fast. Former apprentice Cody Connolly sued OCC for using his image on merchandise without permission and for never giving him the bike he was promised. Custom painter Justin Barnes also took OCC to court for ripping off his designs. Apparently, ethics were not part of the custom chopper blueprint.
So in order to do that, I have to cut out a void.
And just when you thought we'd reached maximum dysfunction, boom, bankruptcy. In 2018, Paul Sr. filed for Chapter 13. Turns out building a comically massive chopper empire, losing your entire family, and screaming at everyone isn't a sustainable business model. Court documents showed he spent more money than he made, which is a bold financial strategy unless you're, say, Elon Musk.
How's it going, Vin?
You don't even want to see I was grinding the frame to smithereens.
Were you?
Yep.
Add in a $20,000-ish monthly burn rate, legal disputes with a business partner over unpaid debts and breached agreements, and a looming foreclosure on his home. And suddenly, the guy who used to scream about handlebars was screaming into a void of unpaid debt and bad investments. By now, American Chopper wasn't a reality show.
Working with a bunch of monkeys that you got to train. I just don't get it. What's so hard about keeping things organized?
It was a Greek tragedy in cargo pants, and we, the audience, were equal parts horrified and addicted. Even the fans began splitting into factions, Team Senior versus Team Junior. Reddit threads turned into philosophical battlegrounds. Was Junior the tortured creative soul stifled by his controlling dad? Or was Senior the hardworking patriarch betrayed by an entitled son? Neither? Both? Doesn't matter, because the real winner was chaos. Media started turning on them too. Once hailed as authentic working class heroes, the Teutuls were now reality TV's version of a cautionary tale. Articles used phrases like toxic family, exploitative television.
I was looking for more parts. I went to Jason to help me visualize what the trophy was going to look like.
And why is this man still yelling? Even the networks got cold feet. TLC, a channel that once gave us Here Comes Honey Boo Boo, decided this was too toxic. In 2010, American Chopper was abruptly canceled. Officially, they thanked the Teutuls for an incredible run. Unofficially, they were like, please stop fighting in front of the interns. So what do you do when your show about building motorcycles collapses under the weight of intergenerational trauma? Easy, you launch a spinoff. But let's rewind for a second, because that spinoff didn't happen in 2018. It actually happened way back in 2010. In 2010, American Chopper Senior vs. Junior debuted. Yes, Discovery gave them a second show, a show centered entirely around their feud, basically divorce court, but with spark plugs. Each episode followed Senior at OCC, Junior at his new company, Paul Jr. Designs, and Mikey stuck in the middle like a bearded Switzerland.
Fundraiser for Make-A-Wish and other charities.
There were competitive bike builds, cold stares, awkward encounters in parking lots. It was compelling, it was toxic, it was America. And for a while it actually worked. Ratings were solid, fans picked sides, and the legal battles kept raging on. But eventually, even this gravy train derailed. By 2012, the public had fatigue. The bikes looked the same. The yelling sounded recycled, and both Senior and Junior were clearly over it. The final live episode in Las Vegas was less triumphant finale and more group therapy on a stage. They even built a Teutul tribute bike together, like some metaphorical band-aid over a gaping emotional wound. Cute. But too late. So what did we learn? That no matter how cool your bike is, it can't outrun your daddy issues. That family businesses are great, until your CEO calls you lazy on live TV.
When are we making pancakes?
Okay, I guess we've got to do that now, obviously.
And that at the end of the day, people will absolutely tune in to watch a father emotionally annihilate his offspring, but only for about 10 seasons. Let's be honest, American Chopper today is like your uncle's Facebook profile. It used to be wild, chaotic, accidentally hilarious. Now it's just sad, filtered, and full of awkward attempts at relevance. The 2018 reboot tried to bring back the magic. Discovery Channel dusted off the grease-stained blueprints and said, what if we made American Chopper, but softer? And thus began the era of civil disagreement on a budget. The fights, muted, the builds, predictable, the stakes, non-existent. Where once we had volcanic blowouts that made you question if the garage had a fire exit, we now had civil conversations over kombucha. The show traded raw dysfunction for PR-friendly growth.
So basically what we did was cut it apart where we had it welded.
And in doing so, it lost the very thing that made it watchable. Paul Sr. looked exhausted. Less raging patriarch and more divorced stepdad trying to get his life together. Paul Jr. actually seemed fine, mostly because therapy works. And Mikey, still drifting through every scene like a meme brought to life. Even the bikes started to feel formulaic. Every build followed the exact same emotional arc. Client walks in. They pitch a vague theme like freedom or respect. Montage, a mild disagreement, a small redemption moment, and then the big reveal. Rinse, repeat, cry inside. Meanwhile, fans online were more interested in the meme than the actual show. The American Chopper argument meme went viral again in 2018. Those 5-panel debates where Senior and Junior scream about things like feminism, pineapple on pizza, or even Garfield's political alignment. It was brilliant. It was hilarious. And it reduced a once mighty franchise to a punchline. Because that's how people know American Chopper now, not as a show, but as a meme. A pixelated relic of rage. A meme so popular, even Senior had to ask someone what a meme was. Seriously, his girlfriend's daughter had to explain it. The irony? The meme had more energy, more tension, more story than the reboot ever managed. So yeah, American Chopper came back. But it came back like a band doing a reunion tour without their drummer, bassist, or original soul. A hollow echo of its former self. Because when a show that built its name on rawness gets too polished,
Get that speed up, it'll straighten itself out.
you're just left with a motorcycle soap opera no one asked for. In the end, American Chopper wasn't just a show. It was a mirror. A loud, oil-stained, emotionally unstable mirror reflecting the raw chaos of family, fame, and capitalism. With handlebars. It promised the American dream. Build something with your own hands. Work with your family. Make a name for yourself. And for a few golden seasons, it worked. We believed in the story of a father and son welding their way to success. It felt real because it was real. Too real. But like all good American dreams, it eventually collapsed under the weight of ego, unresolved trauma, and probably too much monster energy. Could it have ended differently? Maybe. If Paul Sr. had been just a little less shouty. If Paul Jr. had shown up to work on time.
Years that great, or, I know a little bit just from being around.
If Mikey had been allowed to manage morale instead of becoming the emotional mascot of a failing empire. In the end, American Chopper wasn't destroyed by ratings, or networks, or even bad bike builds. It was destroyed by the same thing that made it great. The people. Unfiltered, unhealed, unforgettable. And now they live on. Not in Emmy reels, not in reruns, but in memes. Forever yelling, forever frozen mid-scream in 5-panel debates about socialism and SpongeBob. So what does this say about us, the viewers? That we like our reality shows messy, our families broken, and our motorcycles impractically huge. Or maybe, just maybe, we like to see ourselves in these disasters, as long as they come with chrome and commercial breaks. So here's to American Chopper, the legend, the lesson, the meme. Like, subscribe, and tell us in the comments, who was really to blame? Senior, Junior, or the real villain all along? TLC.